Hello my friends and welcome to part 2 of the Melffy Zoo deck. This time I'm going to go over a walkthrough of it and then I'll do some gameplay. But within the walkthrough section I'll also give you some suggestions of changes you can make to the deck, either budget suggestions or like ways you can make it a little bit different. But the 10 to 15 minutes will be dedicated to a walkthrough, and then the final 15-20 will be dedicated to the suggestions for either how to improve upon the deck, or maybe how to change up the deck a little bit more based on your styles, or like even budget suggestions for those who don't want to spend all that CP. Anyway, so first I want to show you that the 3 preview cards here, you should notice that one of them is glossy, so I was talking about that in the solo mode yesterday. And here's a better look at that kind of. And then also it shows all of my other accessories I'm using. So that's actually cool. I didn't notice that before. It shows my card protector, my dual field, my dual stand, etc. It just doesn't show my mate. That's the only thing. Anyway, I'll go into a walkthrough now. So first I'll look up Frank Kids, so I have that up. But I won't talk about Prank Kids just yet. I just want to have them up. Okay. So I want to talk about the deck here first. So, first of all, ideally in your opening hand, you want either a Tri-Brigade, a Zoodiac, or a way to get to a Tri-Brigade in the opening hand. Tri-Brigades are probably the best ones to go for, and then Zoodiacs being the second. Although Zoodiacs are a little bit easier to go into a powerful monster right away, Tri-Brigades require a little bit of a setup, but usually you can get into more powerful stuff with Tri-Brigades, because in my opinion, links are just a little bit better than Exceed, since you can only use them. You can only use Exceed effects a select few times, but like with Tri-Brigades, they don't require like detaching materials, so you can like use them like usually they have like hard once per turns, but like you can at least use them reliably like each turn until you eventually are able to get your opponent out of resources. So yeah. Yeah, so you don't have, so like even if you use not the best card, like you might as well still use a Link Monster's effect before that turn is over, since you don't have to really commit anything to it. Anyway, so yeah, those are the 2 best options, and you have a few ways of getting into Tri-Brigade. The best Tri-Brigade to get, by the way, would be Fractal, because then Fractal can just pitch itself to send off the Kit, to send off the Naval, to add the Caress, and there's a few ways you could get the Fractal. You also have Standoff to get the Fractal, and Airborne Assault, while it can't get the Fractal, as long as you can summon a monster first, you can like use the Airborne Assault to get yourself to Kit, and then either use both the Kit and that of the monster to go into Frigid if you have another card in your hand, or like perhaps just use the Almirage. Or then in that case, since you already know some of the monsters, it's probably better to, I don't know, I think it's better to just go into the Almirage and then do the Kit effect to send the Naval to add the Caress. Actually no, in that case it probably is better to go into Frigid, since you're getting yourself into the Caress, then you can use the Frigid to special summon the Crass from your hands. So yeah. And then you can just special summon the Crass with Frigid, and then use the Crass's effect since you have materials in your graveyard, and then you can go into probably, actually in that case you can probably go into Ancient Warrior's Oath, and then you can use the Crass and, ooh, I don't know about that. No, you probably want to go into, I don't know what you want to go into, because I think you have to use the, because you have to use the Crass and Frigid to go into Bear Brum, so you can eventually send off the Bear Brum to get its effect. So I think in that case you would pretty much have to send whatever the other link 2 you have to get yourself to Rugal. So I guess you would probably just want to use yeah, no, I think you would want to use oh yeah, I think you definitely want to use the Crass's effect to get yourself to Bear Brum even in that case, and then you can use the Bear Brum and Crass to get to Rugal. And that's probably a much better way to do it. Hold on though. Where's the Frigids? Yeah, that would be fine because the Frigid has that down pointing arrow. So yeah. Okay, so that'll be good. So you can do it that way. And then, of course, Bear Brum has the effect that gets you to your Revolt, and you send back a card. If you already have Revolt, you could always just search for one of the other spells, but that's only if you don't have it. And then after you make all those plays, like the second best spell, I guess, to search would be the Rendezvous, because it gives a minor attack buff. Like maybe they forget about it, and then, or like it just keeps them from attacking. That could also be good too. So yeah. And with this is kind of confusing because like it says if a linked beast warrior, wing beast monster. So I guess what linked must mean is that as long as a monster is pointing to another monster, I guess both of them are linked. I don't know. Because my opponent tried activating a Dark Hole, and I had a Rugal and Tri-Brigade Zoodiac. And the Rugal was pointing to Tri-Brigade Zoodiac, but the Tri-Brigade Zoodiac was not pointing back to Rugal. Here, I'm gonna linked. Yeah, I guess it just has to be either a link monster that's pointing to another monster, or if it's being or a monster that's being pointed to via link marker. So I guess it could be either one, and so that's why both of them were able to survive. So that's a cool thing to think about. All you simply need to have is Rugal pointing to one of the other monsters, and both of them will be linked. That's really cool. I didn't even realize that. Kind of weird, but hey, if that's how it works, that's awesome. And it seems to be how it works. Anyway, so that's a really cool thing that I thought about. And then, oh yeah, and you won't always have the Tri-Brigade plays. Of course, if you have Kit in the opening hand, as long as you have another Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, that's okay too, because you can just either send the Kit, or even if you had Naval, you could do that too. And then depending on what you sent for the Link Summon of Almirage, you can either send the Naval or just simply add the Crass. And then if you pitch off another Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, then you can just use that for then you'll have at least 2 materials to use for the special summon of either Frigid if you have yet another one in your hand, another Beast or Wing Beast in your hand, or a Bear Bum. Yeah, so basically you want to make sure you have at least 2 Beast Warrior Wing Beasts before you summon one of your Tri-Brigades if you plan to use their effect. Or if you can just go into Almirage with either the Kid or the Naval, you don't have to use the effect. But yeah, you want to at least make sure you have 2, because then you can just summon your Bear Bum. Even if you have more than 2, your starting play should always be to either summon the Frigid if you have another Beast Warrior Wing Beast in hand, or a Bear Bum if you don't. You most never want to summon the Ancient Warrior's Oath. You only want to do that if you just happen to have another Tri-Brigade in your hand. Like, if in some way you're able to, or on a following turn after you've already made all your Tri-Brigade plays. He's there. He kind of feels like Sky Cavalry Centauria, but a bit more useful. So he could probably be one of the cards you banish with Prosperity, actually. So yeah. And then the Zoodiacs. If you aren't able to get one of those Tri-Brigade plays, but you do have a Zoodiac, you could go, since these require any one Zoodiac, you can like start your Zoodiac plays, and then like if you can't end on Zeus, you can always end on Trident. And then like maybe on a later turn you can go for your Tri-Brigade plays, or if you still can't, you could always just go for Zeus. Like maybe like save the Borbo just in case. And then if you still can't really do anything, you can just go for Zeus. A cool thing about the Zoodiacs, unlike the Tri-Brigades though, once again, is that you can summon the Melffys even if you go for your Zoodiac plays, since they don't restrict you like the Tri-Brigades do. So yeah, that is one thing, but the Melffys don't really matter all that much. They're more there to help get you going. Like if you get a really bad hand and don't draw either the Tri-Brigades or the Zoodiacs, you could always just use the Melffys to get you there. And then of course the danger is also there for help drawing, help filling the graveyard with extra Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, help get you more materials on the field. They're just good for a lot of different reasons, so yeah. And then Foolish Barrel is basically another fractal where you can pitch the kit, pitch the Naval to add the Caress, and that'll get you 2 Beast Warrior, Wing Beast in the graveyard, so at that point you can just normal summon the Caress and then go straight into your Link plays. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. I really like this because like there's a lot of like 1-card starters in this deck. So which is really nice. Like a lot of the other decks that you that have to be like Highlander format, a lot of other decks' weaknesses pretty much for this format is that sometimes they need specific cards, whereas with the Zoodiacs, with the Tri-Brigades, and even with the Prank Kids, they all have like a bunch of 1-card starters, which really helps up the consistency in a format like this. So yeah, I like this. So this is why I feel like these are some of the better decks here. And then also have dangers that fit the typings helps as well. And then anyway, for the Prank Kids, if you want to spend a little bit extra CP, this is kind of the start of the suggestions list, if you want to call it that. Anyway, I guess I'll go over some of the other links. Besides like the Revolt into Shirag play, if you haven't won by then and you have a bunch, like you could always like use some of your extra materials, like if you're able to use a what's nice about the Shirag play, like if you also have a Rugal on the field, whereas like if you aren't able to kill them the next turn after you use the Shirag, and then you do on your turn, then like you maybe special something else to use the Shirag again, if you still weren't able to kill them, you should still remember that Rugal can still special summon something during the next opponent's turn as well, and so you pretty much always like have at least another banish during each of your opponent's turn while Rugal is on the field. So that's actually pretty nice. You should have plenty of materials in the graveyard, especially like after putting them all back into the graveyard with Revolt. So yeah, those two make for some pretty nice combos. And then of course you can also like after you've like already made your Tri-Brigade plays, you can like special summon stuff like this guy with the Tri-Brigades as well, and this guy helps shuffle back like in like the important like graveyard pieces into the deck. And then also of course this one, which basically returns a face-up card they control to hand that can either be not as good as shuffling it back to the deck or destroying it, I would say, in a lot of cases, but still, like, it can help clear your opponent's field to get in for that little bit of extra damage so you can win. Or you can even like target like, I guess, like a continuous trap that's really annoying, or a continuous spell, or field spell. There's like definitely times where it can be useful. And then of course Appaloosa, like especially if you're able to make it with 4, then she becomes like 2400 attack. But you definitely don't want to make her with like 2 of your big monsters. You want to just use a lot of your tiny monsters in order to make her, because like if you're only using like 2 of your Link 2s, she only becomes 1600 attack, and then all they need to do is attack over with something with 1600 attack. Even with her max of like 2400 attack, they can always like just like special summon a Pankratops if they have like no monsters on the field, and then just beat over that with the Pankratops with the 2600 attack. So you want to be careful there for the decks that are playing Pankratops. And then Axis Cone, you pretty much don't care what you make him with. You can even just make him with a Rugal and one of the other monsters, because he just gains the pretty much attack that Rugal anyway. And by the time you get to him, you should have a lot of links in your graveyard from like going up from the Tri-Brigade, Bearbrum or Frigid up to the Rugal. You should have plenty of materials that can be banished for his destruction effect anyway. And again, he doesn't target, so that's really nice. Anyway, I think that's about it for the walkthrough. So now I can go through the suggestions, starting with talking about like why Trinket's also a pretty cool way you can kind of, I guess, improve the deck a little bit more. I'm not sure if it would be necessarily improving the deck or not, but it is a cool, pretty cool replacement to the Melffys, I guess. You lose some of that being able to like add or recur stuff from the graveyard, and like maybe even take down a few dangers, but you can like always make up your mind which cards you wouldn't mind taking out for it. I feel like either way it could like down the, and you also have to take out a few cards out of your X deck, and I feel like your X deck is kind of already packed, but if you want to do it, I'm sure you can like figure out something. You can always like ask around too. Definitely is a requirement, but the reason why Trinket's also good for this event is because you have a few monsters here, and any of these monsters can get you into Trinket's Meow Meow, since all level 4 blows. And Trinket's Meow Meow, I haven't really played this deck myself, so I might be a little rusty on the plays here, but I'm gonna try my best on explaining it. Oh yeah, and then after going into Meow Meow, any of these monsters have the graveyard effect that lets you special summon another Prank Kids with a different name from your deck. Yeah. And then now that you have 2 materials, you can then go into one of your Link 2s right away. So basically one of them pretty much gets you into a Link 2 right away. So you can either go with Prank Kids Dodo Doodle Doo or Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark. But the better one would probably be going for the Doodle Doo because then the Doodle Doo searches for a spell or trap that you really need. You could go for Prank Kids Place if you have another Prank Kids card in your hand to special summon a token that can be used for even more Link plays, or Prank Kids Pandemonium to go for a fusion, or the trap, I guess. But the best option would probably be just going for a Prank Kids Place, because then when this card is activated, you get to add a Prank Kids monster from your deck to your hand. Oh, and this also helps you fusion summon. Oh wait, no, this one is just support for fusion summoning. But yeah, but it does add a Prank Kids monster. But like you can't really normal summon that Prank Kids monster since you already normal summon. Oh, wait, no, I guess you don't really need to because like, I mean, I guess you could go for Prank Kids Pranks, and then like you could like tribute him to like add 2 Prank Kids to your hand, and discard one of those to like special summon a Prank Kids token. But then what are you gonna be able to do with that? I mean, you would also be able to like shuffle them back in, but I don't know. Well, actually I forgot. Since yeah. Yeah, after you go into Link 1 play, I forgot that whatever Prank Kids cards you summon with that Link 1 play, after that Prank Kids is sent to the graveyard, you can then special summon another Prank Kids from your deck, and then you'll have both a Link 2 and Prank Kids monster on your field still. This one is a Link 4 though, unfortunately. So then with that, you could always go into, your Pandemonium and then have a quick effect fusion to either go into, Rocket Ride to be able to, but I don't think that's a quick effect. Or you could go into Weather Watcher. And this is a quick effect. So this is probably the better one anyway. Either Rocket Ride or Weather Washer. I suppose those are pretty good. I mean, I guess you could also technically. I mean, I guess you could go into Prank Kids Bow Wow after you did your Dodo Doodle Do play. And then, because Bow Wow at least has a quick effect where you get to add 2 Prank Kids cards to your hand. So, unlike with the Doodle Doo. Or you could just simply like use that Doodle Doo and you're the Prank Kids monster for a fusion summon. Oh, and that gets you to another material, and that gets you another Prank Kids out of your deck as well. So yeah, I guess there's that. Yeah, because you could just opt not to grab the Pandemonium if you just want to grab the Prinked's Place to like add another Prinked's monster from your deck to your hand, so you have something else for like a future play, I guess. Or you could play the, or you could get the Trap card to act as a quick effect link summon, I guess. I don't know. You could like always like ask around like if you want to like know how to play this deck, but basically it's pretty good because any of your Prank Kids monsters can simply just start your play, since the Prank Kids Meow Meow can take any of them, and then when any of them are used for a link summon, they can keep going into like different copies of Prank Kids monsters from the deck, and then any of those can be used for further link or fusion plays down the line. So yeah, that's why they're pretty good. Unfortunately, since there's no Link 3, you kind of it's kind of hard to get to the Link 4 here. Yeah. And then it also might be kind of hard to get to Battle Butler, since that calls for specific material. It might be kind of hard to get to that. And the Pandemonium, unfortunately, can't use monsters from the graveyard. Although it might not be that difficult, because like you could always use the Bow Wow bark to get to get Prank Kids back into your hand. So you could always just add the missing pieces back to your hand, then use Pandemonium. You might be able to get to Battle Butler turn 1 if you need to. And he's not too bad, since he has a quick effect, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, which you can kind of activate twice, because Prank Kids Meow Meow can like can just banish it instead of him being tribute off the first time, which is one of the reasons this deck is so good. So let's see. Let's say you didn't start with Lamp Seeds, Drop Seeds, or Fansies in the opening hand, but you got Roxy's in the opening hand instead. Of course, also the cool thing about Prank Kids Place is that Prank Kids Place can get you out of your Prank Kids monsters as well, and you can also run Terraforming to kind of get an extra copy if you'd like of this. So for example here, so you started with a Roxy's in the opening hand, either via the, well, if you had Place, you wouldn't like put Roxy's in the opening hand, but you would put one of the materials for this guy. But yeah, let's say you do have Roxy's, so use Roxy's to go into Meow Meow, and then you use the Roxy's effect to special summon out a Lampseas, and then use Lampseas and Meow Meow to go into Dodo Doodle Doo. And then you special summon the Dropsies with the Lampsies, and you use the Doodle Doo effect to get yourself the Pandemonium. Okay, so you have so you have that Lampsies in graveyard. Oh yeah, and then Dropsies and that can go into Bow Wow Bark, and then you get your Fansies, and then Bow Wow. And then you can just set your Pandemonium if you wanted to, and then the Bow Wow Bark, yeah, and then you have the Fansies and the Bow Wow Bark on your field, and then the Bow Wow Bark can be used on your opponent's turn to get yourself the Dropsies and Lampsies, and then yeah, you do have all 3 materials. So yeah, as long as you have any way of getting to your Prank Kids in the opening hand, and like a Prank Kids Place, or like just a Prank Kids Place to get to any of your Prank Kids, yeah, like you're guaranteed to be able to get to to get to the Battle Butler during your opponent's turn. Or maybe even like go into it right away during your turn, but it might be better just like wait and like fusion summon it during your opponent's turn. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty awesome. So you're pretty much guaranteed. That's why the deck's so good. Yeah, that must be why the deck's so good. Yeah. like even in a format like this. And then of course, because you have Meow Meow in your graveyard, you can basically use his effect twice, which is crazy because it it destroys all of your opponent's monsters. Unfortunately, it doesn't destroy your opponent's entire field, but hey, mostly monsters are like the biggest threat. So yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Just remember that the second time it gets rid of the Battle Butler. But I mean, like, that's only like if you need it. But yeah, probably once you banish a Meow Meow, you probably don't have any way of returning to graveyard. But that's okay. Since its biggest draw is basically allowing Butler to like do his effect twice. Okay, and then a few other suggestions kind of went past time. That's okay. A few other suggestions I have on ways I guess, like, if you really want to, you could add a few more dangers, but like I don't know if you really want to like add stuff like Nessie, which when it's discarded itself, you get to add a danger to your hand. I don't think that's very necessary, since she's an Aqua, and that doesn't really fit with the Beast Warrior Wing Beast. You could probably get rid of the Dogman if you really want to for something else. I'm not sure what you would put in, but there's also that. Since the Dogman is kind of the weakest, but I still like him since he's another Beast Warrior Wing Beast. Anyway, and then for the Melffys, you could technically add in their exceeds, and then if you add in a little bit more of the exceeds, you could add in maybe a few of the other spells or traps, even the Melffy Playhouse, since that can also like allow you to return cards your opponent controls back to the hand. But I don't really care much about the exceeds because I'm not really going into the Sky Cavalry very much. I'm not really using the Melffys very much, or like going into rank 2 monsters very much. So like to me that kind of just seems like a waste of CP, but I guess you could. The best and if you only want to craft one exceed, the best exceed would probably definitely be this one, since this one allows you to add another Melffy to your hand. But again, I don't think it really is that important, and you're probably not going to be able to go into level 2 exceeds. I suppose you could add in a few of more of the Melffys, but then you have to get rid of other stuff in order to do that. Like, I mean, well, one, you could probably get rid of Dogman for like the Melffy Fenny, and then maybe another card for the Melffy Rabby, or just like have like the 4. But even so, that's only 4 Melffys. So I don't know. Anyway, of course you could also like put in a few more like beasts as well, like that support off the Melffys. Like there are a few good beasts. Like there's that one that's when special summon you get to like destroy a card on the field. There's that one like level 2, and it's another level 2 beast, so there's also that. And there's a few high level beasts that you can like special summon out of your hand with the Fenny, but I don't. But I feel like just simply like doing it this way is probably like maybe better. But like of course if you really like the Melffys and want to go off of more of that, like you could like think of stuff with that. Anyway, I'll go through some budget suggestions now. So some budget suggestions you can do are, so first of all, you don't really need the dangers. You could probably just replace, you could replace the 2, high rarity dangers at least. I would say like, might as well keep the lower rarity ones, but you could replace the 2 high rarity ones. I wouldn't suggest the other like low rarity dangers, since like none of the other dangers are low rarity. fit in with that Beast Warrior, Wing Beast theme. But you could replace these with other two Melffy cards, the Melffy Rabby and the Melffy Fenny, since they're lower rarities as well. And like, and that shouldn't really like, and because this deck is already consistent, I'm just like pretty much more just playing the dangers for fun, because I haven't really played them much before, so I kind of want to like try them out again. I remember playing them back in the day with my Grand Madre, but it's been a little while, so I wanted to play them again. And then Nibiru, you could probably replace that with something budget as well, something more budget. I feel like a lot of like, there's not many people who are actually like doing like so much summoning that you really need the Nibiru for. So yeah, you could probably replace this with like, I think you get Dark Hole for free, so you could probably replace it with Dark Hole since this doesn't really fit in with the theme. So yeah, you could probably replace this with Dark Hole, or maybe like another Solemn, if you have like other Solemn cards, or like whatever, like maybe like good trap cards you have, you could probably replace it with. Yeah. So there's that. Ash Blossom I think is really good, but I don't know. I guess you could replace it with some other kind of like hand trap that's also kind of good. But I think Ash Blossom is really good. Same with Maxi. There can be technically budget replacements, but I just really like playing them. But if you really, if you, and I feel like they're just overall good for a lot of different decks, so they're not bad crafts at all. But like, I guess if you really want to place them, you can always like think of like another hand trap that is decent that can be used against your opponent, like other disruptions, or like maybe even like just regular traps. But I feel like they're really good since they can be used even when you're going second too. And then DD Crow, I really like DD Crow because it acts as another Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. Though it's not really the best hand trap, not a lot of decks would play it, so you could probably replace it with something else. Maybe like another Melffy. Maybe you could replace this with a Melffy if you really wanted to. Yeah, like either Melffy Fenny or Melffy Rabby. Or if you already like are playing all the Melffys, I don't know. Maybe some kind of other Beast Warrior, Wing Beast that can easily go into your graveyard. And then Foolish Bear you could probably just replace with maybe another piece of Disruption. It does kind of make your Tri-Brigade, like your starter Tri-Brigade plays a little bit weaker, but that should be okay. You could maybe even replace it with like a One Day of Peace, since that can be found in Legacy Pack. So maybe if you got lucky enough to get that inside of a Legacy Pack, even just one, you could replace it with that. Or maybe like a different card draw that's like a lower rarity. Maybe even card D, I don't know. But then like that can really like be bad. I don't know. Of course, Upstart Goblin, you could probably replace it with something else. Like, I don't know. I don't think you really need the card draw that much. It's just nice to play. Same with like all the other card draw cards. I don't know. Like, the more card draw you take out, the less consistent it is. But I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably figure something out. I feel like Tinky is like really good though. That's kind of like basically a more specific card draw card. Yeah, and there's a lot of the URs and the SRs you could probably take out for either other disruption based cards, like maybe lower rarity card draw cards, like I guess even like hand destruction. I know that's like a normal or rare, or maybe even like magical mallet, I guess. That's like a pretty low rarity as well. But that, like, doing that can make your deck a little bit less powerful, a little bit less consistent. But like, I guess you don't need the most powerful deck when you're doing like it just casually in the festival, since you're not always running into the most powerful opponents. But at that point, like, if you don't want to like kind of like go in with even like any of these. Like maybe it's better to just play one of the loner decks. I don't know. Anyway, because a lot of the cards here, like the Forbidden Droplet, the Upstart Goblin, they're good in quite a few different decks. Like even the pots, like, are good in quite a few different decks. So I don't think they're that bad of like crafts. Like and then the tanky. I mean, pretty much like if you already have all the Zoodiacs and the Tri-Brigades, you should you should have pretty much gone the tanky as well. Because otherwise, what do you have with all the Tri-Brigades and Zoodiacs? Since like they're really integral to the deck. So if you're going with the Tri-Brigades and Zoodiacs, you should pretty much have this for that deck. I can understand not having Pot of Prosperity, since not every Tri-Brigade Zoodiac would run this card, but like Pot of Desires, like you should pretty much have too, since the regular Tri-Brigades and Zoodiac decks outside of the festivals would also play this card. I can also understand you not having Full Spirit though, or maybe even like Upstart Goblin. You can replace some of those with like budget replacements, maybe like just simply like more like disruption, or like more like hand traps, whatever you'd like. But like some of the other card draws you should already have. And then Airborne Assault though, I can understand you not having, since that's an SR, but you could probably just replace that with like another back row disruption. Like there's plenty of like pretty good back row disruption on lower rarities. Like one example would be a compulsory. You could even run a few of the Paleozoics. Like Paleozoic Diamiscus isn't a bad card in general either. Or maybe if you have any of the other Solemns, you could run like a Solemn Strike, maybe a Solemn Warning. Yeah. And then, so anyway, and then extra deck, replacements. You could really have a really good replacement for Sky Cavalry Centauria, which if you don't have it, you should probably just do this, since Sky Cavalry Centauria probably never going to go into. I mean, I guess you could go for one of Melffy. No, wait, the Melffy's all high. The Melffy exceeds all high rarities. It's probably better just to go for Hammer Kong. Hammer Kong, since that's another Zoodiac exceed. But if you really want to rank 2, you could. There are a few rank 2 exceeds that are budget. You could probably just go for any of those. Preferably if there's one that's low rarity. Like, I guess technically even the Mannequin Cat, since that fits the criteria and it's only a rare. Probably not that one. Technically the Cat Shark too, since that's a low rarity, and that's generic as well. So like they don't have good effects for your deck, but yeah, they don't have. Well, technically they can be used on any of your Zoodiac exceeds to like double their attack, but that's only. Wait, no, it doubles the original attack, so it wouldn't do anything for them. But at least they do act as beasts in the graveyard, which fits your criteria. They kind of have terrible effects, but if you really want to rank 2, but like moreover, I would just suggest like cutting your losses, going for Hammer Kong, since you're probably never going to go into Centauria anyway. And then the rest of these cards, I think they're like so good that you kind of don't want to replace them. And like these cards are cards you're probably gonna be wanting for a Tri-Brigade Zoodiac deck anyway. I guess you could get rid of that Appaloosa for something else, since like that's probably like the weakest card in here. Maybe put in a different link that's also fairly good. That's a lower rarity. Like there's plenty of like pretty good lower rarity other links. Battle is pretty good in general, but like you could do it that way. I don't want to go over that in too much detail, but you can probably like find replacements, and you can always like ask around what some budget replacements you can do for a deck like this, because I'm sure I'm sure like this is a pretty popular deck to go for in a format like this. I guess I'll take a look at some of the other links. So some of the lower rarity links, a few of the code talkers are pretty good. Probably a lot of the code talkers aren't bad. I think that transcode talker, it might be a little bit hard to go into, but that could be a pretty good replacement. Wait, no. Hold on. Man, I don't know what it's called. I forget now. I forget what it's called now. But it's a link 3. So I'll go up to the link 3s. Huh. Oh, I must have done, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look up link 3s. Here, I think I have it too. Yeah, here it is. This is what I'm talking about. Power Code Talker. It does call for 3 monsters. But like it has a pretty good effect where like you get to just like target a monster on the field. It's only during your turn, but you get to negate that target's effects. And also it has a situational attack boost if you really want to treat it a monster. Most of the time though, like it's pretty good for at least a negating effect. But there's probably even better low rarity options as well. So you can always like feel free to look through the links and then just choose what you want to replace the Appaloosa with. That's pretty generic as well. Anyway, I should have time for hopefully at least one duel here. So I'll go for that. And then in tomorrow's video, I'll go over the secret pack that had the dangers, in case you want to like pick those up as well. But it's definitely not a requirement. Could again just replace those high rarity dangers with some Melffy, since they also help fulfill the requirement of getting you Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast for your deck. Well, primarily just Beast, but it doesn't really matter, like they all fit. So here's a pretty good hand right here. I might as well activate the yeah, I think I might as well activate the upshot first. Okay, yeah, here we go. Even better hand. Maybe I shouldn't have. It should be fine though. Yeah, because now I can go for the kit. And now this is actually really good for me. And then I can use the kit. I can't send the... I don't want to send the Crass, but what I can do, my second best option, is going to be the Rendezvous, because now I can protect my monsters. My linked monsters from being destroyed by battle or a card effect. And that's any monster that's either pointing something or being pointed to. So it can protect my Exceeds and my main deck monsters as well, as long as I'm smart about it. Anyway, I'll do the Naval. Since I have another Beast Warrior in my hand, I'll go ahead and go into Frigid. This is the better play if you have another Beast Warrior in your hand. So then you can like be able to like summon back the Bear Brum and get another Spell Trap. Which, like, once you, like, do, like, these lines of plays, once you get the revolt, like, there's pretty much, like, no other good spell or trap. But, like, still, like, it helps filter out your deck a bit, so it's nice. And also, this way you can use both of these graveyard effects as well. You can also use Frigid's graveyard effect. Okay, so now I can go into Bearbrum. So I'll go into Bearbrum. Right there, it doesn't really matter all that much. And now I can use Frigid's effect. Oh! Along with Naval's effect. So Naval can search the grass. Fortunately, I already used I already did my normal summon. So which one do I want to add back into my deck? I guess the Bottomless Trap Pool. That was hard. Okay, now I can go into Rugal. This is hard too, but I guess I'll send the Karass back into my deck. Guess I don't really need the Karass. I like the other ones for disruption. Should be able to get through this. Because this shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Okay, now I can just set all 3 of these cards. And so now what's cool about Revolt is since I have 4 targets in my graveyard, I can do the Bearbrum, the Thoroughblade, and the Naval, along with so I have like basically 5 targets. I'll go with my 2 graveyard targets first, and then banish targets first, and then the graveyard targets. So I have at least 4, so that means I'll definitely be able to. And the cool thing is even if I use a Rugal first, I still have 4 different targets to be able to go into the Shrag to get basically a banish at any time during my opponent's turn. So that's really nice. Yeah, so all the pretty much all the so Shrag is pretty important to the deck. I would say Access Code is really good for the deck as well. But I guess, like, if I had to say, the most important cards for the deck would probably be all of the Tri-Brigade Zoodiac stuff, pretty much. Including the X-Deck monsters. And then besides that, the more generic stuff. Mirage, I think, is pretty important because, I mean, it gets you plays even if you don't necessarily are able to get that graveyard set before you go into links. Can still help you get to plays. Okay, so looks like he's playing Timelords. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, and now I can get that quick effect banish. Luckily I had that Solemn Judgment for that Hoppy's Feather Dust, so that was really nice. So I'll go for my banish cards first. And then I can special summon the Naval. And oh yeah, and that's another reason why. Yeah, because now this time the Naval can get me the Karass anyway. So that's another reason why it wasn't so bad sending back my Karass, because the Naval can get me 2 Karass anyway, again, and I'll probably just shuffle back in the trap. I mean the spell that I'm adding, since like they're pretty much useless. Technically I could shuffle back in the Karass so that the spell isn't like totally useless, but I think I'd rather just keep the Karass in my hand. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm activating Shrag, and then I guess Kit. I think I'll do Naval first. And then Bear Brum. And then I'll just shuffle back in whatever I get with Bear Brum. It doesn't really matter. Oh, and then I can also activate the Vogel as well. I think I... No, I don't think I will. Oh, and that's game. See? So yeah, that's really good. And it seems pretty consistent. Like, I don't think I've lost... Actually, I think I did lose with this deck once, but... the reason I lost with the deck was because I forgot Rugal could accommodate for Shirag's Banish, and I couldn't get them that turn. I couldn't kill them that turn, so I used Shirag and Rugal to go into Appaloosa, which was a big mistake, and then my opponent was playing the Rocket Loan deck, and my opponent had that Diamond of Pankratops in his hand. So he just summoned that, and he pretty much killed me with that and another monster. Not committing enough monsters for the Nibiru that was my hand. I just couldn't get another monster fast enough. But even if I had that, Pankratops was pretty dangerous since he could just tribute that off to like destroy one of my stuff. Although I did have a Call by Grave, so maybe if I would have like drawn a card after the Call by the Grave, I would have been able to get back in like a Zoodiac card. But I couldn't, so that was pretty much game for my opponent. Oh well. So I'll be trying to get to the 22,000 say. I mean, I guess I technically do have just enough time for a pack opening. So anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed that gameplay plus walkthrough plus card suggestions for today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and consider ringing that notification bell for regular content. And I'll see all of you in tomorrow's video where I go over the secret pack that shows off the dangers here. Actually, I'll like give you a little preview for those of you who are curious now. So here's where the danger cards are located. How to obtain it. So this is the secret pack you need to go for. Emerging Monstrosity Recon. In order to unlock it, you can always just like craft the Danger Jackalope. At least the good things about the dangers is that they're in general pretty good. Actually, I don't think I have time for a pack opening, so I'll just end it there. Sorry I couldn't get to a pack opening, but I will have a pack opening with tomorrow's video with the secret packs. I'm going to be going over more than just the Danger secret pack. The Danger secret pack will be at the end, but of course I'll make chapters if you want to go straight to Danger's secret pack. I made like a special like hour-long secret pack video. So that should be kind of cool. Since I didn't really have anything else to do in that video. Okay, well, I hope to see a lot of you watching that video tomorrow, and definitely let me know if you did. Bye.